Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here in our downtown studios right on Oakland Avenue. You're welcome to stop in anytime you want and kind of see the sausage made. We're going to run down US 23 right now into the Ann Arbor area, and we're going to spend a little time with Executive Director of the Michigan Venture Capital Association, Ara Topouzian. And Ara, it's good to see you. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good, Chris. It's good to sort of see you. I haven't seen you in person for a long time, but this is, I guess, our new norm still, right?
It's a pretty short list of humans we've all seen, recently.
Yes. Yes.
Listen, you guys have always done something once a year, a report that
Yeah.
kind of shows your effect, actually, as venture capital on our circumstance here economically. So you just concluded one. Tell me what came out of that.
Yeah. So first of all, thanks for having us on and always supporting the work that MVCA does. Every year, I think this is our 15th year, we produce a research report, and it's a comprehensive analysis of venture activity here in the state of Michigan. And the focus on that is certainly Michigan VC firms, where they're investing, how they're doing it, how much, and all that kind of good stuff. And so on April 21st, yesterday, we released that new report. We did a little webinar with it. Had my chair, Michael Gross, who is with Berengia, and Jeff Rinvelt, who's with Renaissance Venture Capital. Jeff's our vice chair, but he's also chairs our research report committee. And we just kind of, had a sort of a dialogue similar to this, probably a little bit longer, a little bit more in depth, I know, than we would go into here. But it was interesting to put this year's report together, given COVID.
I think people don't realize spin outs from tech transfer and these venture capital funds and angel investors, of course, who bring that financing to startups who, otherwise may not be able to capture it through conventional means.
Yeah. Well, angel investments is certainly important to a lot of different deals. And I think it's certainly a good point to make, Chris, that the universities have a strong factor in the work that they're doing. U of M with their tech transfer office, they started a fund last year themselves. You're seeing more of this activity. Michigan State pre-seed seed fund called Michigan Rise, and they've partnered with the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. It's a match. So yeah, a lot of great things going on. I think the one thing that I'd like to comment on is, and maybe I'm anticipating your question because we've got that vibe going, right?
Right.
Is, how they do, how, what sort of jumped out. And I think what jumped out to me was that there were not as many deals, but they were stronger deals, smaller rounds, but larger. Those rounds were a little bit larger. And, if we had this conversation last April, May, I probably would have been a little bit nervous because still, COVID was new, didn't know what kind of an effect this would have, given that our past numbers were a bit on the rise. And it really panned out that COVID maybe put a pause button in place for a couple of months. And then work kept going, starting summertime. So it was strong. And it's we're a resilient state.
Well, I'm looking at some of the results of this, and when you think about 165 venture-backed startups in Michigan,
Yep.
17% over the last 5 years. That brings a few bucks to the economy. Jobs.
Oh, absolutely. With close to $4 billion of capital under management as well. And just, with that 165 venture-based companies, you got another, $257 million of VC money invested in 88 Michigan startups. Not bad.
It's kind of interesting. I remember when Berengia first came to town with a sack of money, and I sat with the CEO and I said, why? You guys are coming from Silicon Valley. Why are you coming here to Michigan? And he said, we look at what's happening here, and to us, this is the land of opportunity.
Yeah, I
Uh,
talked to a lot of out-of-state VC firms that they like Michigan for a lot of reasons, certainly the quality of life and whatnot, but they like the deals. They can get deals done here. They like working with the venture capital firms here in Michigan. It's still a good place to do business.
here's another statistic that I really like. 50% of Michigan venture-backed startups were led by a CEO who's a person of color.
Yeah.
And
So still big disparities in diversity and in venture capital, and something that we've always taken a look at. We're looking at it even further. It's a deeper focus that we're taking in this year. We've developed a DE and I committee to take a look at how do we make some real changes and at least start the process. So more work needs to be done, but I'm glad you brought that up, Chris.
Well, I'll tell you what, you guys are doing a great job. And I know
Thank
you are too, Ara Topouzian, who's the executive director of the Michigan Venture Capital Association. Thanks so much for joining us, buddy, and keep up the good
Thanks.
work.
Thank you, Chris. Pleasure to be here.
And thank you all for being here on the Michigan Business Network to view the Michigan Business Beat. I'm Chris Holman.